Afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Rhythms Garden here at the Sydney Blues and Roots Festival in beautiful downtown Windsor. My name's Sam, I'm Deputy Editor of Rhythms Magazine, and it's been our absolute pleasure to present Q&As this weekend. And our next is a man who's played in more notable Australian bands than he can point a stick at, I reckon. He is Mr. Steve Balbi. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries, man.
In our tiny little pagoda here at the back.
I love a tiny pagoda.
Yeah, me too. It's been a good weekend. So speaking of the weekend, you kicked it off this morning. How'd your set go?
Yeah, it was okay. A little tired, but you get that in this business.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I've been standing next to you for the last half an hour, and quite a number of people have come up and told you how much they enjoyed it and how they really enjoyed what you were doing and all that sort of stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah, good validation for what you're doing, I guess. So this is your first time at the Sydney Blues Festival, I believe.
It is. It's quite a nice feeling festival, really.
Yeah, it's got a good little old town vibe to it.
Yeah, I don't sort of tend to do many festivals and don't see myself fitting in that sort of genre, but
yeah,
it's nice to be part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was speaking to someone the other day, and there's a plethora of festivals these days, but some don't last more than a couple of years. But for a festival like this, where it's based in and around the town, it really depends on the local population, and it seems up here they really embrace it and get into it, so it seems like a really nice place as an artist to play.
And I guess there's not a lot else going on in Windsor.
I wouldn't really think so, no. It's all happening this weekend, though, that's for sure.
It is. Actually, it's amazing artists here. I'm doing a show later on with a couple of guys, my audience over there. Matthew Barber and Asa Brumel.
Yeah.
We're doing the Writers' Circle. That's a pretty interesting thing.
So how does that work?
Yeah, good question. That was the first question we asked each other. We kind of we met, and a few hours later we were on stage, and it's pretty much toss a coin and see who goes on first, and play a song, and then pass the parcel. Really.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting. It's been really great experience.
Yeah. Is that the kind of situation where you would play the song, or you perhaps talk about the song and then play it, or like is it?
If you feel like talking, yeah. Generally a bit of chit chat going on. You might think that you're going to play one. You might have a song prepared to play, and then by the time it gets round to you, you change your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So does that end up with all three of you up there?
There's four of us, actually.
Oh, four of you?
And Nicholas Roy.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that should be good, and that's later on this afternoon, yeah, about 4:30? 4:15. Restaurant 22. Good little spot, that, actually. I'm staying about 20 metres from there, so everything that happens there, I can hear note for note. It's much better being in there, of course. Now, I was reading on your website a couple of days ago, and you're right that it's been said that one cannot find a new continent without losing sight of the shore. How apt a line is that to sum up your career, if at all?
Well, I think I've always set out on... I can't stand sort of safety, really. And I've sometimes through sabotage, other times through just a decision to try and do something different.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I've been playing solo shows or with an accompanist for a couple of years now, and I'm in between a new record. I'm really tired of it. I just want to hear, I want to hear a band again. And, different instruments, so I've got a gig next month, and I just sort of hired two keyboard players, one that plays a bit of drums, keyboards and a bit of guitar, and there's another sort of sound player, and I'm just going to make it up as we go.
Okay.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. It seems, and perhaps this wasn't always the case, but it seems that at this point in your career, you're on somewhat of a journey, I guess, to find something different. Is it a fair comment? Do you see it like that?
Oh, I guess we're all on a journey, it's been a long journey, a long road. But at least it's still going. It's good, and there's no sight at the end of it. I don't see this as what I do as a job, and it's kind of just a sense of duty to myself, really. Like a lot of musicians I know that I'm working with now, and even those guys, Dave and Mark Evans, they're just doing it because Bob Dylan will say he signed a deal with the devil, or whatever. But maybe just signed a deal with myself and just do what I do.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, where do you see this journey taking you? But I guess the fact that you don't really know is an integral part of the journey itself.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, can try to make plans, but they always change. And and I like doing different things. That's why I'm doing the Writers' Circle. I've been doing a lot of musical theatre lately. Who would have thought I'd be, putting on a Mirrorball suit with a bunch of makeup, singing songs in theatres? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. I kind of would like to be an actor, but I kind of take it sort of seriously, as an art form, and doing musical theatre has been really great for me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I want to talk a bit about the various things that you have been doing recently, but this musical theatre, how did you get into that?
Oh, just by being a show-off, really. Just, said, oh, you'd be good at that. So.
Yeah, right.
And just saying yes. I say yes a lot. It's got me a lot of trouble over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go back a little bit. I think it'd be remiss of me not to talk about the early to mid-80s.
Yeah, that's okay.
An interesting time, to be sure, for you. These were the Noiseworks years, of course. These would have been heady times, I would imagine.
Heady?
Yes.
What's that?
Like, it's all happening. All sorts of things are happening, whether they be like excesses or just successes or...
Yeah, that was a weird time, Yeah. It was a really strange time. I remember when I was about 16 and a half, I was pimped by a blues guitar player, a guy called Kevin Borich.
Yeah.
And I joined his band, and it was I won't go too deep into this, but the drummer was a guy called Kerry Jacobson from Dragon.
Yeah.
So basically, Say No More. It was I was taught how to drink whiskey from a bottle and roll joints at 140 k's, and then the rest of it, and then the Noiseworks thing happened. Didn't really mean it to happen, I was playing bass with Kevin, and this band started. We wrote some songs, we got a record deal, and we had some hits. And being young, I just went on that road with those guys in a band called Noiseworks, and it was kind of like, I wasn't really happy.
Okay.
I was for a while, because it was kind of like, wow, I had a record deal, we had hits, there were lots of people coming in, but that wore thin after a while. But and I stayed true to the band at a detriment to myself. I kind of died as a musician, really, and that's I didn't want to be a bass player in a band.
Fair enough.
So it's a hard story to abbreviate, but basically we had a #1 record, and I split the band. That was it, and then I've been on a road of not making much money and making my own music ever since. It's been fantastic.
I mentioned that during your time with Noiseworks, you kind of died as a musician. How long after the split of that band did it take you to, I guess, become reborn as a musician?
Yeah, it wasn't very long, because Justin Stanley, probably a soulmate musically, he was in Noiseworks as well, and I remember being in a hotel room with him. It's right towards the end of Noiseworks, and we were on ecstasy, and we were always recording, always playing music, and we were just so in love with what we were playing. And he said to me, wow, I wish music could be like this all the time. And I said, it can be, let's leave the band. And we actually recorded this conversation. We checked it with each other the next day, and we had to make a plan, because it was such a big business that we couldn't just say, oh, we're leaving. So we called some lawyers up, and we worked stuff out, and our escape plan was the Noiseworks motto, and it was, if anyone leaves the band's over. And that was our escape route. So we tossed the coin. Justin was the one leaving, and I was the one holding strong to the motto. And then so we couldn't continue making music together. So we produced a few albums, and then we started a band called the Electric Hippies that kind of was a really cool band. It was so different to Noiseworks. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Just lastly on Noiseworks, you've been quoted as saying that you love bits of the 3 albums that you guys made together, but that you don't feel that the band ever made a great whole record. I believe that you, along with John Stevens, are working on rectifying that right now. Are you guys writing another Noiseworks album?
Yeah, we are. I've got 4 children now, so and Noiseworks is a really, it's a good business, and and I would like to make a great record.
Yeah.
You know, so if to be brutally honest, and I try to make a living out of being brutally honest these days, I'm doing it mainly because it's a good business, but in that I want to use my skills to make it a great record.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we've mentioned a couple of times how this band killed you as a musician. Like, aside from...
Having said that, it also gave me a career in other ways.
Of course, yeah. How hard was it to make that decision to, get back into it, I guess?
To get back into the band?
Yeah.
It's not hard when you wake up and you look at your gorgeous children and you want to give them all you can. And what it meant for me was putting my ego out of my thinking. And, because if it was up to me, I'd just be travelling the world with a guitar and a sack of potatoes and I'd be quite happy.
Yeah.
But I've had these children and I have a responsibility. And as I said, it's a great business. So it's not that difficult. It's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. But, it's worth it.
Okay. So how is it coming together so far?
Slow.
Yeah?
Yeah, because everyone's really busy, But, but it's what we've got is really good.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. We await that with much interest then.
Yeah, me too.
As do you, I mean. Yeah. So elsewhere in the now, I mean, you've certainly not slowed down. Like, you're working with a group called Move Trees, and you guys are working on a record at the moment. Is that right?
No, that tree got chopped down.
Oh, really?
That's over, yeah.
Okay.
I started a band with a couple of guys that were predominantly session guys.
Yeah.
They were really great players, and I knew right at the time. I said, when we decided to form a band, I went, these guys aren't crazy enough, and they're used to making money when they play.
Yeah.
So it didn't last too long.
Fair
but
enough.
It was a great, I've got an album on the shelf, and we did release an EP, and it was a good band.
Okay. Is that album on the shelf likely to come off the shelf at any point?
Probably not.
Yeah. When we were chatting before this interview, a gentleman came up to you and said that he didn't realise that you'd had a solo career for so long, as you were saying before that you had. Are you working towards a solo record?
Well, I'm halfway through that. I mean, I put it on the shelf because, the Noiseworks thing.
Yeah.
It's something I had to finish first, and so I'm probably about 70% there now with my record.
Yeah, nice one. I got the impression reading bits and pieces, I knew that you're certainly in no hurry to finish this one. I mean, obviously the Noiseworks thing is going to step in and take a bit of preference at first, but how important is it to you as a musician to wait?
Oh, look, I'm already old, so it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So do you envisage getting back into that, or do you need to be in a particular mindset, so this band mindset for the Noiseworks album, or can you interchange, or do you need a full block of time to work on
I'm pretty
songs?
good at compartmentalising, what I do is the music just takes you really,
Yeah.
Just get into the studio, shut the door and off I go, and it's hard stopping.
Yeah, fair call. You've also been producing a bit as well recently.
I've always
Yeah?
produced,
Who are you working with at the moment?
Sorry?
Who are you working with at the moment?
Noiseworks.
Oh, so you're just producing that album, you're not working with anyone else outside?
I just did an EP with a band called Meow Kapow, and that was great. And there's a few things in the wings, but there's a few things in the wings and too much on my plate. So
it's definitely better than having nothing on your plate and nothing in the wings.
That's true.
So how is it? I mean, obviously you've been doing this for a long time, producing and obviously playing for a long time. How is it being on the other side of the glass in that producer's role as opposed to playing? Because obviously it's quite a different mindset to be in.
Yeah. Somehow it turns out that I generally sort of collaborate musically and actually physically play on a lot of stuff I do.
Yeah.
I love it. I really love collaboration. Like when it's true collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoy that, and I love creating stuff. You know, sounds and trying different ways of doing the same thing.
Okay, so it doesn't matter which side of any desk or any glass or any stage you're on, it's just all part of the same creative process.
It is. That's one of the most fun parts to me is you know, writing a song and then, you know, that moment where it actually just it leaves your head and it's actually presented in audio back into your ears. I love that moment. It's really great.
Yeah, okay, nice one. With the actual production process, I've spoken to a lot of musicians in the past who produce their own work and find it hard to remain objective, I guess, because, you know, they've written it, they've played it, they find it hard to let go and, I guess, put it together through someone else's ears. Do you find that? Like, say, for example, this new Noiseworks album? How do you, like, overcome something like that? Like, do you just pass it on to someone else, or do you just step away from it?
Well, there's a practical way, and time is great.
Okay.
You know, leaving it alone for a while. For me, it's very simple. I'm not trying to make music to please anybody really anymore. You know, I think that was a great mistake. So, and I know when I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, I know when it feels good, and I know when it's not quite there, and who's to say whether it's right or wrong, or just, you know.
The journey continues.
Yeah, it does.
So I reckon we'll leave it there. But ladies and gents, make sure you get up to Restaurant 22 this afternoon at 4:15 and catch Steve and his fine gentleman over here, and Nicholas Roy as well. It should be fantastic. Ladies and gents, Steve Balbi.
Thanks. And Matt's playing here now, so.
Oh, yeah. Stick around for Matthew Barber. It should be fantastic.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.